The night it all fell apart wasn't loud or dramatic. There were no screams, no broken glass, just silence. That kind of silence that feels heavier than words. My name is Emily, and this is the story of how the man I loved most turned into the stranger who taught me what real betrayal feels like. It started on an ordinary Friday night. Daniel texted me, saying he had to work late again. I didn't question it. I trusted him. Maybe too much. I'd made dinner, lit candles, even set the table like an idiot waiting for a fairy tale that had already ended. When he didn't show up, I sent him a sweet text. "Don't overwork yourself, love." He replied 2 hours later with a heart emoji. Just one heart. But something felt wrong that night. A small gut feeling I tried to ignore. You know, that quiet whisper inside you that says, "Look closer." So, I did. The next day, while cleaning, I found a receipt in his jacket pocket. 2 glasses of wine, 1 dessert, and dinner for 2, at a fancy restaurant across town. And the date. Last night. My hands trembled. My mind raced. Who was he with? Why did he lie? For hours, I stared at that small piece of paper like it held all the answers I'd been too blind to see. But the truth doesn't reveal itself easily. It waits, quietly, until you're ready to face it. I wasn't ready that night. I folded the receipt, placed it in my drawer, and told myself there had to be an explanation. But deep down I knew. Something inside me had already broken. Daniel wasn't just any man. He was charming, soft-spoken, the kind of guy who remembered anniversaries and wrote notes on sticky pads saying, "You make my day brighter." My friends called us the perfect couple. We laughed, we traveled, we built dreams. Or at least, I thought we did. But perfect is just a word until you look closely. Then, it crumbles. For weeks, little things began to change. He stopped holding my hand in public. His phone was always upside down. He'd smile less, hug shorter, talk quicker. When I'd ask what was wrong, he'd sigh and say, "You're overthinking again, Em." I started believing I was the problem. That maybe I was being clingy, insecure, paranoid. That's how manipulators work. They make you question your own reality until you can't even trust your reflection. Then came the night that sealed everything. He came home past midnight, smelling of perfume that wasn't mine. I asked where he was. He smiled, kissed my forehead, and said, "You worry too much." I wanted to scream, cry, throw things, but instead, I nodded. I didn't want to lose him, even though, truthfully, I already had. I started watching him more closely. His excuses, his tone, the way he smiled when his phone buzzed. And then one night, I saw it. A name on his screen that I didn't recognize, Clara. He saw me looking and quickly flipped it over. "It's work," he said, "but no job texts you at midnight with heart emojis." That's when I stopped waiting for him to tell the truth. I decided I'd find it myself. A week later, he said he had another late meeting. I smiled, kissed him goodbye, and told him to drive safe. The second he left, I followed. His car stopped at a restaurant across town. I parked far enough not to be seen and watched him walk inside. Moments later, a woman joined him, Clara. I recognized her instantly. The same name, the same smile from the few photos I'd seen tagged on his social media from work events. They looked comfortable. Too comfortable. He leaned forward, touched her hand, whispered something that made her blush. My stomach dropped. I wanted to burst in, scream his name, throw the truth in his face. But instead, I recorded. I sat in my car, hands shaking, and filmed every laugh, every whisper, every fake smile. When he came home that night, I was sitting on the couch, calm and collected. "Long night?" I asked. He smiled, loosened his tie, and said, "You know how it is." I nodded, smiling back, but inside, I was done pretending. He kissed me goodnight, thinking everything was normal. But as he slept, I backed up the video and screenshots to a private drive, just in case he decided to twist the story later. Because with men like him, they always do. That night, as he lay peacefully beside me, I stared at the ceiling, realizing I wasn't crying anymore. I wasn't even angry. I was just ready. The next morning, Daniel acted like nothing had happened. He made coffee, kissed me goodbye, and left for work. I watched him go, my heart calm for the first time in weeks. Because this time, I wasn't the one being fooled. I reached out to someone, Clara. At first, she didn't believe me. She said Daniel told her I was an ex who couldn't let go. Classic. I sent her the video. She didn't reply for hours, but when she did, it was just 3 words. "Oh my God." We met later that evening. She looked devastated, holding her phone with trembling hands. "He told me you two were done months ago," she whispered. I nodded, offering a sad smile. "He lies beautifully, doesn't he? That night, I went home and waited. Daniel walked in, humming, pretending to be the loving boyfriend again. I asked casually, "So, how was your day?" He smiled. "Busy as always." I wanted to laugh at how easy it was for him. Instead, I just said, "I know, Daniel. I know everything." He froze. The color drained from his face. "What do you mean?" I stood up, pulled out my phone, and played the video. Him with Clara, laughing, holding hands. His expression twisted from shock to panic to guilt. But it was too late. For years I'd believed his words. Now, all I believed in was proof. The next day, I knew confrontation wasn't enough. Men like Daniel don't confess. They manipulate until you start apologizing to them. So I decided to make him confess, to himself. Step 1: collect everything. Screenshots, receipts, call logs, photos. Every lie had a trail and I followed it. Step 2: make him think he was safe. I pretended to forgive him. Smiled. Cooked dinner. Let him think I was his again. He relaxed. He even started humming around the house, thinking he'd won me back. That's when I made my move. I created a fake account, one that looked exactly like Clara's. I used their inside jokes, copied her tone, even her profile picture. Then, I sent him a message. "Miss you already. Same place tomorrow." He replied in less than a minute. "Can't wait. You're the best thing that's happened to me." The next day, I told him I'd be working late. He didn't question it. He left, wearing his favorite shirt, the one I bought him. I waited 15 minutes, then followed. He walked into the same restaurant, expecting Clara, but I was the one waiting at the table. When he saw me, he froze. His lips parted, but no words came out. I smiled, leaning back in my chair. "Funny? You're early for once." I played the voice messages he sent. "Clara," right there in front of everyone. His face turned pale. He tried to speak, but I stood up, whispered, "Now you know how it feels to be played," and walked away. That night, I didn't feel broken. I felt powerful. The fallout came faster than I expected. Clara called me the next morning. She'd confronted him too. His lies had finally tangled beyond repair. She said, "He told me he loved us both." I laughed bitterly. That's Daniel. Always chasing admiration, never love. We decided to end it for good. Clara worked at the same company as him, and their office had strict policies against relationships between colleagues. So we met his boss. Calmly, professionally, we showed proof. No lies, no drama, just the truth. Within a week, Daniel was suspended pending an investigation. His reputation shattered. His coworkers whispered behind his back. The man who once acted untouchable now avoided his own reflection. He called me dozens of times. Left voicemails crying, begging, apologizing. But I never picked up, because sometimes, silence speaks louder than any revenge. One evening, I saw him outside my apartment, holding flowers. I didn't open the door. He looked up at my window, eyes red, shoulders slumped. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. But then I remembered every lie, every time he made me question my own worth. And I turned away. Because I wasn't his victim anymore. I was his consequence. After Daniel disappeared from my life, the silence felt strange. The bed was half empty, the mornings too quiet. But that quiet slowly became peace. I started running again. Reading again. I went on solo trips. Small ones, just to feel the world without his shadow. I learned to enjoy coffee without waiting for someone to join me. Maya, my best friend, once asked, "Do you ever wish you could undo it all?" I smiled, shaking my head. No. Because if I hadn't gone through it, I'd still be the woman who trusted the wrong man instead of herself. Months later, I saw Daniel by chance. Sitting alone in a cafe, staring at his phone. He looked smaller. We locked eyes for a brief second, and for the first time, I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel anger. I just felt free. I walked away, not because I won, but because I no longer cared to play. Betrayal hurts. It breaks something inside you that no apology can fix. But it also teaches. It shows you that closure doesn't come from others. It comes from within. Daniel thought he could play me. He thought he could control how my story ended, but he was wrong. Because I didn't need revenge to destroy him. The truth did that on its own. And me. I learned that silence can be the loudest answer. That walking away isn't weakness, it's power. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's living like they never mattered at all.